You can basically walk around the circumference. Okay, thank you. Well, hello everyone. Thank you all for coming. And today is we are meditating. This class is in particular designed for Asia times, particular Korea times. It's about 9 a.m. in Korea. No, 10 a.m. in Korea right now. I was planning on continuing to report to you our last trip to Korea, unless you have any questions or any preference. Okay? Okay, let's continue then. We don't have a whole lot of time. The last time we left off at the next big temple we went to was Haeinsa, one of the three major temples in Korea. This temple here is the temple known as the store for the Tripitaka. So it's a Dharma treasury temple, and we're posing here with, wait, we done? Oh, we done, I guess. Okay, so anyway, sorry, so we done. And now, next we moved on to Busan, to Venerable Simsan's temple. Is one of the biggest temples in Busan. Busan is the southern tip of South Korea, and this is the Koreans. They like to practice. The temple is quite adorned. Is this what we held What is this? This is our Chan workshop. No, this is not there. Oh, that's you? Oh, the one here, I couldn't recognize it. This, we went down south to organize a Chan workshop. And in the morning, Xian Xin was conducting the class, and quite a few people turned out. The temple is quite busy. They have a lot of different programs, and we weren't expecting a lot of people to come because they got tired. We just got squeezed in, and a lot of people stayed on, maybe because they were curious or something. And then later in the afternoon, I would hold the workshop for the morning was introduction, afternoon was like a little bit more advanced, and I was holding the class there with Xianan here translating. And they asked us they were reporting our Dharma event at the local TV station. So we asked everyone to move up, actually, so that they could take the photo. And actually, there's a video of our thing, of our event at the local news station. Actually, if you look at the photo here, we ask people to move to sit in front so that they can take a video and a photos for the TV station. Actually, it's about quite a few people left in the afternoon. They couldn't take the hardship. So 2 hours in the morning is too much for them, and to continue in the afternoon is just not too many people. So in this photo here, half of them are about our groupies. They follow us everywhere, okay? And our people, our students, and the other half is like they're curious about the local people, okay? The circumambulating here, they're walking around here during the break. So we sat for an hour, and then we have an hour talk as well. Okay. This one is heard in the morning, as you can see in the morning. Okay, and we were very fortunate. We took over the building for visitors. The Korean government has a very nice program. They built a building to help the people. They call temple stay. They help people visit temples, encourage them to learn Buddhism and follow the cultivation schedule. And here, over here, and in the morning, while Xin was teaching the beginners class, I was meeting with a group of people from a small temple. Actually, it's not that small, but a temple about an hour away from Busan. And they've been, Xian An here had been going there periodically to once a month maybe to teach Chan. And this is Venerable Abbot who brought them, like 20 of them, who drove early to get there and ask questions. Actually, the Koreans cultivate heart, but when they had questions, they are not happy with the answers. So this is this is a good opportunity for them to come and ask questions about cultivation. So quite a few of them came and they asked a lot of questions. These people here, most of them are able to sit in full lotus for an hour or two, or even more. And this is the venerable abbots of the temple. Okay. And you see in the background here, he has a huge yard and has lots of beautiful trees. And this is a photo at night. Okay, so we were there for about a day, and then for that Chan workshop, and then we left, and we went to Sung Wang Sa, which is another of the big three temple. This is known for, this is a Dharma, the other one is Inside is Dharma Treasury Temple, and this one here is Sangha Treasury Temple. The last trip we went to the Buddha Treasury Temple, so it's a triple jewel, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So this is the last one we visited, and this is the guide, Sunim. Don't be fooled by the youthful appearance. He's in his 60s or something already. He has a lot of Dharma years. And he's very kind. He knows Xienan. He went to visit our temple at Konk, and so he offered, instead of having the typical Sunim or monk to give us to act as guide for us, which takes about 2 hours, an hour or two. He offered to do it himself, so he took us on about an hour tour, and he's very kind. So he explained to us this is the architecture of the building. This is the famous creek. And you see the Korean temples are very, very adorned. It's really, really beautiful to look at. This is the main Buddha hall, and look at the ceiling and how adorned it is. Okay, and these are mostly our people who went along with us. Okay. And in this Buddha hall here, behind the main Buddha statues here, is a stupa where they have a Buddha's relic, and it's the area where it's perfect for sitting and meditation, because the chi there is very, very strong. You meditate at all, you go near this stupa here, you can feel there's a strong chi, strong energy there. So after the visit, quite a few of us, our people, gathered around and meditated around this area until late at night. They close at 9, 10 o'clock maybe. So they enjoyed it. And so here we are walking around in the thing. This also have a famous for the one in Dien. That is it was closed, but because of because of him, we're able to open it off hours and take a peek. And this is a very famous Wanyin statue in Korea. This is considered a antique and a treasure for Korean Buddhism. Was made in the 13th century or 15th, 16th century. Okay, that's Wan Yin. Very happy looking Wan Yin. And in Korea, the temples are made with these heavy stones here, very expensive. These retainer walls here are extremely expensive. To move these things, it's all placed there naturally without any border or at all. And we're able to go up here and visit some of the patriarch stupa. So it's very hilly, it's a mountainous area. The feng shui is excellent. And this is one of the halls where I think they are what is it? Does anyone remember? This is the photo of King Yama here. So, which is among the Dharma protectors of Shakyamuni Buddha, of the Dharma. So we heard of King Yama. So I told our followers that they should come and bow to King Yama, because most of them will be seeing King Yama a little bit later on, after they die. Okay, unless you become an arhat, you all have to go see King Yama. You have no choice. Okay, but once you get fourth stage arhat or higher, then you bypass him. When he sees you, he has to bow to you. Okay, and this is the stupa of one of the famous monks in Korea. Okay. Let's look at the mountainous area, and the monks' temples are huge. They're big, whereas the nuns' temple are a lot smaller. And he took us on a walk, a hiking thing on a trail reserved for the Sangha only. So the scenery is beautiful. I don't know, you can see the beauty of the landscaping and the natural landscaping there. It's very, very nice. Lots of mosquitoes as well, as I remember. It's attacking us like crazy. And this is people cultivating heart there. So we reminded to be quiet. This is in the Temple Stay building, and this is in the trail there, a walking trail there. And we went up to the area where this is a thing here, where it's on a hill overlooking down. You see a pond, okay, and so he told the guiding monk again. The lay people are not supposed to be there, okay, but he allowed us in, so it's a treat for us. And he told me, you should sit and meditate. So I did. We sat down and meditated, and sure enough, it's perfect for meditation. You sit down and you can lock into samadhi and concentration right away. That's beautiful. The feng shui, everything is perfect for meditation, for cultivation. The Koreans know all these tips on how to cultivate. Korean Buddhism is pretty impressive. We learn a lot this time. Okay, every trip we're learning more and more. This trip here, we learned. I almost didn't go here because I wasn't impressed with a lot of monks I met from this particular temple. So I thought, well, I'm not sure I liked. It's good use of my time. But when I went there, I was very impressed how low-key the temple is compared to the others. The other two, they are. This is the most low-key temple, and that's why I almost didn't go. I didn't show any interest, but I sat down, and now people sat down. They all liked it. And I think I may have got some sort of epiphany. I think this I say doing Om or something. And this is the pond that's below it. So this is one of my favorite spots in Korea. Can you imagine the water is very clear? So I was hoping that, was thinking of jumping. It was very, very hot, by the way. So I resisted the temptation to jump into it. Okay, and then they have a museum built by the government as well. The Korean government is very supportive of Buddhism. And that's no wonder their country is doing well. The economy is doing well. Okay, that's the wisdom, ancient wisdom in the Tang Dynasty. The Tang Dynasty lasted for about 3 centuries because emperors after emperors supported Mahayana. Okay, and during that era, Buddhism really prospered, and so the Korean government is so supportive of Buddhism that it's no wonder the economy is doing well and very, very strong. Okay, a very interesting system. It's similar here in our country. The government does not necessarily support Buddhism per se, but we have here the separation of church and state, so we don't, the temple here don't pay taxes, okay, which is very, very helpful to us, okay. So that's a form of subsidy from the government for religious work. So it's very, that's why this country is very prosperous itself as well. So anyway, this is a monk in charge of the museum. He's in the Arhat range as well. And they're lying around, they're walking around everywhere. And this is their Chipitika. This is replica of the Guanyin statue. And this is a drawing from the original drawing. This is a replica of a miniature of the small drawing of the original drawing that was made. It's very famous of the Avatamsaka assembly. Okay, and then we met. So we were the first day there. We got there in the afternoon. We ate lunch, and then we have a tour from our kind tour guide. And we were told that the Fangzang would not be there. And then so the following morning, all of a sudden we got news that he just got back and he wanted to meet with us. So we scheduled to meet with the abbot. I don't know, we have this photo here of the abbot. Okay, no, we don't. Okay. They didn't give it to us. And we didn't have the video of this? Huh? Yeah, can you? Okay, it's too long to upload. Huh? Okay. And so I met with the abbot first at 6:30, and I like the abbot. He's a very kind person. And I told him about I told him about a young man in his 30s who wanted to, who was interested in becoming a monk with us, and I told him that he's really not suitable for us. And I asked the abbot, I'm so sorry. I said, our temple is too small. I cannot accept everyone. I don't have the facility to accept people, too many people. And so I asked the abbot, would you be interested in accepting him? I said, oh yeah, absolutely. In Korea right now, very few people live the home life anymore. And so the abbot's very kind. He says, you can refer people to me whenever you wish. So there are a lot of, the Sungwangsa, that temple is known for their Sangha training program, their novice training program. There were like 50 of them being trained right there. And the abbot told me there used to be 100, 200. But now there aren't that many people anymore. And then after that, I met with the Fangzang, Fangzang is the one who's on top of the abbot. He oversees the entire temple, the entire compound. Sungwangsa has many, the main temple and small temples. Abbot is for the main temple, and each temple has its own abbot. So the Fangzang oversees all the locations, all the branches in that particular location, and throughout their system. And so I met the Fangzang. We talked a lot, and then after that, I thought it was done. All of a sudden, the guy Sunim says, I like someone else. I like you to meet. So we walk over to this monk here, to my surprise, and lives by himself, secluded in a secluded area, separate area, and he was not expecting us at all. So he surprised him, and he surprised us as well. So that's a guide monk, and it turns out to be, I really like this Sunim here. I was pleasantly surprised. And now I realize why Sungwangsa is so low-key. It's more low-key in the other two because of their cultivation level. The higher you get, the more low-key you become naturally. So, for example, Master YongHua, my Chinese teacher, is like, I was always impressed by that the few times I met with him. He's like such an ordinary person. If you don't see the difference in clothing and how short he is for a monk, he looks very ordinary, nothing special at all, whereas his disciples are all very impressive, all of them. And Master YongHua is the most unimpressive monk I've ever met. And so they're very low-key. Sungwangsa has been known to be a very low-key temple, and they don't care for money, don't care for anything. So that's the mark of cultivation. So, and I was meeting everyone. I said, why are they important? Why this place is so good? When I met this monk, I realized this is why they're pretty good, because he's a cultivator. He doesn't care. He doesn't engage in the world. And he says, you see this behind you, and this thing hung on the ceiling behind me, and this is the poem. He says, this is a guide of my practice. And what does it say? 白云什么 Would you like to recite this?
白云买
Oh, my is to buy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
了麦青，风散尽，家私撤，古琼流，得一波，白纳衣，临别赋，于火炬中。
He said, this is from a senior monk who left me, and here Korean monk, and he said, this is how I live my life. This is how I go to it. Okay, so it's a 白云买. So to buy some white clouds. Okay. He's buying white clouds. He's not buying property. Property in Seoul is increasing in value. Okay, like crazy. Liao Mai Qing, and I finished selling Qing purity. Okay, Feng San Jin, and after the wind has finished blowing, Jia Si. This is, what does it mean? Che. Jia Si. What does this mean? Yes, Jane.
This means your possession. So this poem should be written like 7 characters as one line. 白云买了卖清风，散尽家私彻古琼。留得一波白纳衣，临别赋于火炬中。
Okay, that helps. Thank you. Oh, you see, it helps to have Chinese people. 白云买了卖清风 So you buy the white clouds and you sell the pure wind, the clear wind, yes, and 散尽家. This is, how does you pronounce this again? Su che gu. What does it mean?
彻骨穷. So poor to the bone.
Poor to the bone.
Yeah, you disperse all your possessions, belongings, and so you're poor to the bone. 彻骨. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Jung. Okay. 留得一波白纳衣. Okay. So all you have left, what all is left is one bowl and a 白纳衣 is a rope. They used to wear white back then. 临别赋于火炬中, meaning eventually you'll be burned or something?
Yes. At the end, basically, you throw into the fire and then it burns.
And there's nothing left. Eventually, you end up in the middle of the fire, because after the monks die, they are cremated. Yes? So why the first? What's the meaning of the first 7 characters? Anyone else? Okay, so he's seeking Bai Yun. He's seeking the white clouds. So he's going away. He's seeking going away from society, okay, from worldly pursuits, and Mai Jing Feng, and to really sell nothing that no one wants. Okay, so he's doing things that not worldly pursuits at all, and you let go of all the personal possessions, family attachments, to the bones, so that you are poor to the bones. All you've left in your life is one bowl to eat and a robe to wear. Okay, and eventually everything will be burned anyway. Will be put in the midst of a fire. Okay, and so that's what he said. This is what this is how I live my life. He let go. He really not interested in worldly things at all. He's very poor, even though he made a really, really impressive what he called a green tea. Green tea what? Green tea. He made a very good green tea. Did we? Yeah, green tea espresso. Thank you. I don't drink coffee. That's why I don't remember all these coffee names. Really fantastic green tea espresso. It's very good. I'm hoping that that guide monk will help us learn how to make it. Did we ever pursue this him? Yeah. And so he seeking non-worldly things. He's dropping everything. He's dropping everything and live in poverty. That's what cultivation is. You abandon worldly pursuits. No interest in worldly things at all. None whatsoever. Supposedly. And you cultivate, you start first by abandoning worldly things and not pursue worldly things. Okay? And you live in poverty. This is the secret about cultivation. You have to live in poverty. When you cultivate, you cannot be rich. You cannot be, you should only have enough. Okay? So you drop away personal things and you're very poor. Okay? You're poor, meaning your mind, okay, depends on nothing whatsoever for support. You only get the minimum for cultivation. And this is what's wrong with monks and nuns nowadays, especially in Korea, in China, and everywhere in the world, is that the monks are too rich and they expect to be comfortable. Okay? Cultivation, you're not supposed to be comfortable. We're starting a 4Qi tomorrow. During the 4Qi, you're not supposed to be comfortable. Okay, so that's cultivation, and all that's you poor, and all you have, all he says to me, and that's important, is one bowl that I need and some clothes to cover myself, to cover my body, which all of that will go into a fire anyways. So ultimately, it becomes back to nothing, to emptiness. Okay, so this is his guiding principle. All right, so I was excited to find him. And so he said he liked us as well, for some reason. And he says, let me make you some green tea espresso. and then he started. He's how old? He's like 70s or 74, 76, a little bit younger than Ru Ching here, and it was cold, okay, and he was wearing a T-shirt. But when we got there, he put on the rope here. Okay, he put on the rope here, the Korean the Sangha rope here. But this is the T-shirt he was in. Okay, so it wasn't cold at all. And when he was making the tea at that age, I was impressed on how his hands. You see how my hands, they shake a little bit? His fingers didn't shake at all. I noticed immediately. I said, wow, you're older than me, and yet your fingers don't even shake. Anyway, so I was happy to see him. See, one of the better Sunims I met. And so I asked him, do you teach nuns? He says, they can come and visit me, but I don't teach nuns in the system. In the Jogya order system, the monks teach the monks, and nuns teach the nuns, and that's why the nuns tend to be not very high level. And after that, we had tea at the Temple Stay building. This is the people who will be staying overnight there. And then after that, we went back to Jewel Mountain Temple, our location, and we were given this new table to serve tea to our guests. And then we started preparing for the Wan Yin Qi. That's why I brought Xian Xin and Xian Liao to go there and train them how to do ceremonies properly. It's a lot of work, like they practice for days. Okay, and then we started the Wan Yin Qi, the first time ever. We organized Wan Yin Qi. I started teaching 16 years ago and never had a chance to do Wan Yin Qi, so I decided to do one in Korea. And something like, on the average, like 40 people every single day participated. So the Koreans really liked the Wan Yin Qi. And I executed the Wan Yin Qi the same way I learned from my master's temple back then. Now they changed quite a bit, and I don't recognize it anymore. So we stuck with the original formula. My attitude is that until I get better, I understand, I find a way to do it better, I would not change it. Okay. So anyway, this is a very important event for us. A lot of people participated, and even some no monks came, but the nuns, 3, maybe 5 nuns came. A couple stayed there the whole time, and the others came for 1 or 2 days. And so this is the building for Jewel Mountain Temple, and we also rented an apartment, which is a 5-minute walk from there as well. And this is the kitchen. That day, Xian En was cooking for us. And this is Korean food. Temple food. to very current things, and for some reason they think that Master wants to have bread every day. So we got bread every day. As you can see, this is the Koreans. They don't eat bread. The Asians, they eat bread by itself, not like Westerners. But they knew, so they gave me some olive oil, and this is a special, not quite balsamic vinegar. It's some Korean stuff. It's pretty good. And then we say goodbye and we leave, I guess. And I'm told a lot of people went to depression after we left. Why is this? Why is this photo here? And the video is not loaded, but this is loaded? Oh, there's a point I'm making here. I was there. I was like in a YongHua. I was walking around for 7 days, every day. Okay? And after the whole week, I look at my foot, as white as the first day. The floor in Korea is so clean. Someone is always cleaning the floor in Korea. It's so weird. Can you imagine 40 people taking turn cleaning the floor? So the floor is squeaky clean. And whereas I came back to my house, and half a day, my foot is black. So I had to wash my foot twice a day. Okay, so that's okay. All right. Any questions? So that's the Korean trip. Korean Buddhism is very strong. I'm very impressed. YongHua convinced me that they're very, very strong. And unfortunately, it's not in step with the times. They're too traditional, like the Chinese, where they prefer men over women. Okay? And that's why everything is focused upon training the monks and taking care of the monks, where the nuns are not that well trained. And to me, it's unfortunate because that's out of step with the times. In particular, the young people are not happy with that, because the young people are not getting help from Buddhism, from the Chan, to help resolve the stress, the depression, and so forth. That's why young people have no reason to come to the temple. Okay, so they would switch to churches and synagogues and so forth, because those places have more social programs where at least they can get a break and they can have a good time and get together with people of their of this, share their interests. Whereas in the older generation in Korea, they love to go to the temple and do ceremonies. Okay, so that's why now the young Koreans are not going to temples anymore. Okay, and plus they're so stressed out that at a very early age they need to compete to get into good schools. The kids have to be in class at 6 a.m. and don't come home to bed until 11 o'clock at night. So it's very stressful for the kids at a very early age. And so I'm amazed at the amount of stress the young Koreans are. Okay, and I said, this is exactly why you need to have Chan meditation. Yeah? And apparently, no one is teaching them meditation. Okay, so that's no surprise that many of young Koreans flock to Sienna's classes in our temples, because they're getting help. Okay, And so we feel that we're contributing to Korean Buddhism by being there, and we're helping people. We, for example, our temples are small and poor, but that's an ideal environment for people to cultivate. Okay, and in particular, when you cultivate, you're not supposed to worry about worldly things, like in that poem that we looked at earlier. And the system nowadays, the monks and nuns have to support themselves. They have to worry about rent, money, transportation, clothes, and food, and so forth, medical expenses, and so forth. And therefore, part of the time during the day, most of the time is spent on making money, taking care of the expenses. It's very expensive. Life is expensive in Korea. Okay, so most of them have to work. Most of them have a job. They get paid. Okay, and so most of the days, there's the time for left home people is spent on worldly things, like making money to sustain their lives, a livelihood. And therefore, you have a bad environment where they need to worry about making money, and then they have to switch and go back to being a left-home person, which is very difficult. This is why most monks and nuns don't become enlightened anymore nowadays, not just in Korea, but in China, in Vietnam, so forth. Okay, in particular in Korea is a huge problem. Okay, they have a system they support the Sunims, the monks and nuns. However, the system, okay, is also detrimental to their cultivation because they get paid, so they're working as employees instead of cultivating. And so that's a serious problem. That's counter to the spirit, what it takes to train people. Let me give you an analogy. It's like when you force your children who's very young to worry about earning a living, then they cannot grow up and learn the right things properly. Yes to the question.
Yeah, Master. Sorry, like to interrupt. So I mean, like I followed Shane, my professor, to kind of like doing meditation for like 3 weeks. And at first I was feeling really lost because I don't know how to balance like my research and like my friends and all the other stuff. But
Sorry, you have just a terrible echo. I cannot hear you at all.
Echo. So wait. Is this better now or?
Slightly.
Slightly.
Let's try it again.
No, okay. So, sorry for the interrupt. So, like, I started doing meditation with Jane, like, for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because at the time, I was really lost. I don't know how to balance, like, my life and, like, my research and all this stuff. And after and also, like, I have disease that time. After 3 weeks meditation, like, my disease do work better, but I'm feeling even more lost. I don't know, like, because I don't know what's actually going on to me. And, like, I still, like, have no idea, like, about my research and also my friends, because I'm right now in Toronto. And, like, my friends back in Vancouver, they are always calling me back there. And
Your friend calling you what?
Calling me back to Vancouver because we want to hang out together.
Oh, you want to get together? Your friends are.
Yeah.
They want to like, socialize with you.
Yeah, and like, cause they are like my.
And so Jane told you not to socialize with them.
No, she's just like, cause she first like told me to do the meditation because like I have some kind of disease. Like
what? You have what?
I have some kind of disease.
Yes.
Like my body is something. There's something wrong with my body.
Okay.
And like after that, like my body do feel better, but like my mind is really even more messed up. I'm really even more lost than like I start meditation. So
Yeah, go back to socializing. At least you're having fun. Okay, so what's your question?
yeah, so like, cause I'm not sure. Should I just keep like doing like trying to find my research topic project and try to like handle this situation, or maybe like I just go back to Vancouver, maybe just find some kind of a master and do immigration and stay there. So I have no idea. Like I'm really lost between these kind of things. So
Yeah, I'm lost too. I don't know how to help you either. What kind of illness do you have?
oh, it's eczema.
Eczema. So it's a
Yeah.
skin thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look as bad as my eczema. Okay, so so your problem, your sickness is not. How does it affect your studies?
Oh, for the eczema, actually, like, cause it goes on my eyes, on my eyeballs, so I cannot open my eyes. So I mean, like, I can literally do nothing.
Oh wow. And is there a treatment for that?
Yeah, like there is treatment, but it's just like
You're not gonna go blind.
Sorry, what?
Could you go blind?
Nope. But like it's just like after applying the creams, it goes better. The medicine helped me goes better. But after like several days, it goes back. It's kind of reverse, going backwards and going forward. So my friend suggests maybe it's pressure because eczema it can be caused by pressure. So
By pressure, I see. Okay, and what else is troubling you?
yeah, and also like my research, because I'm actually in my second year, like starting of my second year, or even like 2 or 3 months actually. But like I still have no idea like what should I actually do for my research.
And when you have to come up with a research topic?
Sorry, what?
What is the deadline for having to commit to a topic?
Kind of like in the next semester, but like our like not to say the officer, but like the guy who's in charge, she suggests kind of like as soon as possible. So I mean like maybe like February something, January, February something for the next year. So
I see. You have a lot of pressing issues.
yeah.
And how fix this? How can Chan meditation? How can meditation fix them quickly for you? Is it what you're hoping for? Jane, what do you have in mind when you ask him to meditate?
Oh, it seems his health was at that time quite compromised. And he's in my class. I'm teaching a graduate level course.
Mm-hmm.
He missed the class because due to the poor health.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just having dinner after class. And then I suggest to him, say, why don't we try meditation? And he said yes right away. And the first day he sat in full lotus for 1 hour in my office.
Mm-hmm.
And he started going to Venerable Xianjie's class.
Mm-hmm.
And then after now, and he sits 2 hours almost daily.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where he is. And also
he says he's more confused. It's not helping at all. Huh?
Well, actually, like I think it do helps. Like I mean, like my health problem is kind of like partially gone, kind of partially gone, but and also like, I mean like, 'cause
Your health is partially gone.
no, I mean my health problem is partially gone.
Health problem is probably gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also like, cause
So that's a bad thing.
no, I mean it's a good thing, cause like I'm healthier than before.
Okay.
But like, cause I'm not sure if that's true, but like during meditation, I think a little bit more, and that's why like I'm starting to be confused about all this kind of stuff.
Okay. So you see, your problem seems to be that you expect results quickly. You're concerned about your thesis and so forth. But I asked you about your health issues, and you just said that your health issues improve a lot.
Yeah.
Yes? So within the span of 3 weeks, and you sat for 2 hours each day, and that's the direct link. Okay? So you may want to consider continuing doing that, sitting every day 2 hours. Just cross your legs. You don't need to do anything special. You can even, since you can sit in full lotus for 2 hours easily, just cross your legs and do your work. Okay, do your studies if you can. Okay, and that's also that you can take advantage of the full lotus position, full lotus tool, and so that's one thing that you should have noticed, that you learn, you acquire a skill, you're learning about a skill to take care of your health first. Without health, there's not a whole lot you can do. So you made some progress. I would even consider sitting even longer, 3-4 hours, full lotus. Okay, so you have some momentum, build on that. Okay, and as far as your friends calling you to socialize, nothing wrong with socializing. Okay, why didn't you socialize with them? I don't understand that part.
Because I'm in Toronto, they are in Vancouver, so
They what?
they are in Vancouver. Like we have like 3 hours flight between us.
Oh, I see. So it's not convenient to find other friends to socialize with locally.
Yeah, but I mean like they are my high school best friends, and we all went to U of T, like Toronto, and then like they just like go back, and then I just, cause I don't know why, but like almost every friend I made in university, we just lost connection. Like we didn't keep in touch. Even I tried to find them, they didn't reply me. So
Oh yeah, you Asians are all alike. My God, you go to university and say, how come people don't care anymore? It's just the relationship is so transactional and so temporary. There's no long-term relationships, unlike high school friendships, right?
yeah, but like my high school.
You're not the only one. Most Asians complain about that. It's just different conditions. So your high school friends are still your high school friends. Whether you lost contact, you don't keep in touch, eventually you will be in touch with them again when the conditions are more favorable. Okay, whereas your friendship at the colleges are, yes, transactional because they're necessary for you, but that's all the time that you can afford to have. But it doesn't mean that it's a shallow thing. You still develop good relationships for many people. Some even got married. Okay, so it's a different kind of friendship, different kind of relationship. And this time that I think one of the things you should learn from picking up meditation is that you accord with conditions. You just said that you can't get together with your high school friends anymore. It's not possible anymore. Then build friendships at the university. Okay, it's a different kind of thing. You're there at the university, and yet your mind is still, the mindset of a high school. You expect that from a high school friendship, high school type of relationship. You have to accord, okay, with the changes in conditions. That's one of the things you should learn. You adapt, okay? And I assure you, many of these university relationship can be very long-lasting as well. Okay, it's just different kind of relationships. Okay, where because of the more intense pressure and environment, they need more. It's more bent on the rapid release of stress and work hard, play hard kind of thing. Okay, whereas a high school is more slower paced.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's different environment. You need to adapt. That's all. And finally, as far as your thesis goes, okay, you struggle with that. Then I would talk to your advisor there and ask your advisor to give you a bunch of different topics. Okay, and you can do 2 tricks. Okay, trick number 1 is that can you do darts?
Yep, I know how to do it.
Okay. It's just as effective. Choosing a topic is just as effective as throwing a dart. Okay, it doesn't matter that much. Okay, I think you're a little bit inflexible. To me, to me, part of your training is to be given a problem that's difficult, it's challenging for you to do. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be your interest and so forth. And to me, that's how they're forming your mind. So you can pick a topic, ask your advisor to help you choose a topic. Okay, and your advisor knows. Okay, and he or she can give you some, a few topics. Okay, you could do that, or use a dart and apply yourself. To me, it's just applying yourself. Okay, and if you can happen to have a topic that you like or whatever, who knows in the future what's going to come out of it. I talk to people who PhD candidates and professors who did their research, their thesis, and it turns out that they made important discoveries, a contribution to the field, but they didn't quite end up doing what they wanted, and they are quite superior people. Okay, so your objective is to get a thesis and apply yourself. Okay, I think to say I need to do something I like or interests me, and that is overrated. To me, it's much more interesting. It's much more important is to be challenged and to be forced to apply yourself. Okay, if it happens to be something that interests you, great. Okay, if it's not. You're learning how to rise to the occasion.
Okay. Thank you.
Develop new potentials, new interests. That's the flip side you haven't thought of. And that's one aspect. And the other aspect is that if you, what you do is you find all these different alternatives, okay? And you should get some help from your advisor, okay? And then, I were you, I would cross my legs for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, okay? And you know what? If you do that to the exhaustion, then maybe, quite likely, that you will have an epiphany and say, oh, I want to do this. You will choose a topic yourself. The idea here is that typically the PhD candidates use the intellect to choose a topic. What I'm teaching you is to not use your intellect to choose a topic, but let your intellect first do the research, okay? Look at all the options, and then you meditate to stop thinking. That's when your best choice of topic will come out, will emerge. And that's the secret of Chan. I, for example, when I need to make an important decision, okay, I meditate. I always meditate. I would never commit to anything until I meditate.
I see.
Okay? So
I see.
you have some skills already, and take advantage of it. Use it. That's your edge.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's we over time. We're a little bit over time here. I hope it helps. And if you still have more questions, we can take it offline, okay, if you wish. Anyone has a quick question here before we go? Okay, then we stop here. Thank you all.